Like us, the Roman citizens live a unique life. They have their own languages, cultures, customs, and entertainments. The languages we consider dead now were used to be the tools for ancient civilizations like Rome to record their stories and their great discoveries. And those are the best evidence for their existence and their intelligence. The loss of languages is tragic precisely because they are not interchangeable, precisely because they represent the distillation of the thoughts and communication of people over their entire history, Marian mythos. Though Latin and all the other ancient languages are really important for the preservance of the past and the understanding of our ancestors' intelligence, there is no such app on the market that is designed specifically for the learning of Latin and all the other ancient civilizations, languages, and culture. There are some language apps in the market, such as Duolingo and Rosetta Stone. However, they often feature mainly the contemporary languages, but not the ancient languages. Also, they don't tend to feature the functions such as fun games and the connection to civilizations themselves. Why is it so important to learn Latin then? When the old Ivy League universities was first founded, for a long time, Latin and Greek were the major subjects to be taught to the students. It is because that Latin and Greek were often the link to the most fundamental ideas for every subject. It is important for the students to learn those languages so that they could read the scripts and then develop their own ideas. More than one study shown that people who learn Latin perform better on L1 spelling tests, which means that the learning of Latin actually helps with the learning of English, because nearly 60% of the English words come from Latin roots. Also, there are some studies proving that the learning of Latin could improve the cognition skills and the thinking skills and the learning skills of students. Most importantly, because all the subjects has their base in the ancient civilization scholars' ideas. In order for us to get more insightful ideas from those sources, the most basic thing is to learn their languages. In Europe, 3 million students are learning Latin, which is more than 8% of their primary school and secondary school students. However, in the United States, only 2% of the pre-K to 12th grade students are learning Latin, and only less than 1% of the college students are learning Latin. Therefore, we created an app called Latin Scholar to solve for all the problems. It incorporates a lot of functions.
Our app has extensive features exclusive to the Latin Scholar because we want to truly open it to a diverse audience. That's why we added non-English translations for learners whose native language isn't English. We also added competition prep material such as NLE or CEFR for advanced learners and even courses on ancient languages that aren't Latin. No other mainstream Latin app like Duolingo, Legentibus, or Caddis offers these options. That's why our app is unique to this market. Our user interface includes a game section that pulls younger users in, a lesson section with vocabulary and grammar, as well as other options such as flashcards, a dictionary, and cultural learning. All these features allow students to obtain a well-rounded education by providing detailed explanations and promoting growth. Not only will students learn the technical aspect of Latin, but also the culture and history of the language.
We have posted the survey to our potential users, and 36% of them are high school students. But almost as importantly, there's also a large section of people who need the app for another reason. They might be theologists, classical literature, or ancient civilization history professions who need Latin to read primary sources and to get better understanding of the subjects they're learning about.
So basically, our strategy is to lower our price to face our target audience, which are mainly students, because students are very price elastic, which means they're sensitive to even the smallest amount of price change. So as we are only $5 per month, compared to Duolingo and Rosetta Stone, which are $13 per month, we have a huge price advantage facing our target audience.
To validate our idea, we conducted a survey with 52 participants from diverse backgrounds, including high school and college Latin students, teachers, professors, parents, and researchers, and even learners from other ancient languages. The results were very encouraging. Over 44% rated this app as highly necessary, and nearly half said they were likely to use it. Additionally, almost 50% indicated that they would be likely to start learning Latin or other ancient language after using our app. These results show strong demand across both current learners and new potential users, confirming that Latin Scholar meets a real and growing need in the market. As Latin Scholar grows, our goal is not to generate revenue, but to protect and promote classical education worldwide. In the first 3 years, we plan to allocate our profit to educational impact initiatives. This will include funding scholarships for students who cannot afford premium access and providing free institutional licenses to underfunded public schools. Within 5 years, we aim to establish the Latin Scholar Foundation as a nonprofit branch of our organization. At that stage, we plan to direct 40% of all voluntary donations made through the app towards expanding classical education access in underserved communities. This may include funding Latin programs that are at risk of being cut due to budget limitations and supporting teachers with more classroom resources. The remaining 60% will support global preservation efforts for ancient languages and classical scholarships. We envision partnering with universities, museums, and research institutions to digitize rare manuscripts, support translation projects, and sponsor student research. In the long term, our goal is to create measurable impact. By 10 years later, we aim to provide free access to at least 50,000 students worldwide and to support at least 100 schools whose classical programs face financial risk. Ultimately, Latin Scholar will not only be a language app, but also a platform that sustains classical education for future generations.
I am Amy Zhou.
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Eason Wang.
I'm Catherine Lee.
Join us to make dead languages alive.